Monitor manufacturers continue to push technical specifications higher, advertising rates up to 480 Hz to capture your attention. But chasing the highest number on the box often leads to overspending on a display your computer can't actually utilize. A monitor doesn't create motion on its own. It only displays the data your graphics card is capable of delivering. To understand what you actually need, we have to look past the marketing and focus on the technical metric that dictates motion clarity: frame persistence. This timeline represents a single second. On a standard 60 Hz display, the screen draws a new image 60 times, meaning each frame sits on the screen for exactly 16.6 milliseconds. While your eye tracks a moving object, the display holds the frame steady, which creates a blur trail. Shortening that duration gives your visual system less time to smear the image. When we map out the system cost against the perceivable visual benefit, the goal is to identify the point of maximum return for your specific setup. Achieving a fluid visual experience requires technical synergy between every component. A high-end monitor is effectively wasted if its capabilities exceed the output of the machine driving it. The 60 to 75 Hz tier is the industry baseline. Its primary strengths are power efficiency, which is crucial for laptop batteries, and clean playback for films and video, which rarely exceed 30 frames per second. The trade-off is that 16.6 millisecond hold time. When you scroll quickly or play fast-paced games, the motion appears smeared and feels sluggish. Stepping up to 75 Hz makes your cursor and standard applications feel slightly snappier, but it doesn't offer a significant advantage for gaming. For document work and maximizing battery life on a budget, this tier is practical. For motion clarity, however, it remains the bare minimum. That brings us to the 120 to 144 Hz range, marking the point where visual fluidity dramatically improves. At 144 Hz, frame times drop below 8 milliseconds, cutting perceived motion blur in half. It shaves 10 milliseconds off input delay. These speeds are achievable. You can reach 120 frames per second with a mid-range graphics card or a PlayStation 5. You will often see 165 Hz monitors in this bracket. Most of these are just 144 Hz panels with a firmware overclock, yielding a tiny 1 millisecond reduction in frame time. That 1 millisecond difference is practically imperceptible to human vision. It serves mostly as a marketing label to help product pages stand out. Because it balances a massive visual upgrade with realistic hardware requirements, the 120 to 144 Hz range is the definitive sweet spot for value. Beyond the sweet spot is the professional esports tier, starting at 240 Hz. The focus shifts to maximum precision, reducing input lag under 5 milliseconds. However, higher refresh rates face diminishing returns. This curve shows jumping from 360 to 480 Hz shaves off less than 1 microsecond of delay. Once the curve flattens out, the time saved is nearly impossible to perceive. There is a severe hardware trade-off at this level. If your graphics card cannot consistently render at least 240 frames per second, the extra refresh rate provides no functional benefit. To hit these frame rates, users often have to sacrifice resolution. These extreme displays are almost exclusively limited to 1080p or 1440p to keep the workload light for the GPU. Unless you are a professional competitor, the 240 Hz tier is often an unnecessary drain on your hardware and your budget. Even a fast monitor can feel stuttery if it isn't aligned with your PC. When a graphics card and a monitor's fixed timer fall out of sync, you experience screen tearing and visual hitches. Adaptive sync, or variable refresh rate, fixes this. It synchronizes the two components, forcing the monitor to wait until the GPU has actually finished rendering the next frame. Because every frame lands at exactly the right moment, a 120 Hz display with adaptive sync often feels smoother than a 165 Hz panel locked to a rigid timer. Future improvements in visual quality rely more on this intelligent synchronization than simply pushing for the highest possible refresh number. The next bottleneck is pixel response time, or gray-to-gray speed. This measures how fast physical pixels can actually change colors to keep up with the refresh rate. If the refresh rate is faster than the pixels can transition, you get severe ghosting and smearing, which effectively cancels out the benefits of the high refresh rate. The final bottleneck is your data cable. Pushing high resolutions at high refresh rates requires a massive amount of bandwidth. If you try to push 4K at 240 Hz through an older HDMI 2.0 cable, the data rate will exceed the cable's capacity. The monitor will simply obey physics and silently downgrade itself to 60 Hz. Carrying that data requires HDMI 2.1, DisplayPort 2.1, or display stream compression. High refresh rates are misleading if your sync technology, panel pixels, or cables are creating bottlenecks in the background. Choosing the right monitor requires carefully matching these high-end technical specifications directly to your actual daily usage and personal hardware. For daily work and media, 60 to 75 Hz maximizes budget and battery. Most players find their sweet spot at 120 to 144 Hz, securing clear motion without an enthusiast PC. Competitive esports demand 240 Hz, requiring GPUs pushing over 300 frames per second. Before making a purchase, always verify your system's ports and ensure you have a cable rated for the necessary bandwidth. Never buy a monitor your system can't feed. A display is only a window, and it will only ever be as powerful as the machine driving it.